Control Center, this you definitely should see it. Did you see it on the radar? Bitrock is rising. Control Center, this you definitely should see it. Did you see it on the radar?
All right, guys, go ahead and turn that off. Let's see who we got, who we're still missing here. We got Gandalf, we got Zach, we got Maurice, we got Conda Labs. Let's throw them the mic. We are also looking for Cryptobolics. I know that he's going to be in and out, as well as Captain Crypto. So if any of those guys are on there, just make sure to request the mic, and we'll get you started here in a second. All right, Cryptobolics. Hold up to the speaker panel now. And I think that's good. So we're just waiting for America over there. So we can just go ahead and get started with some of these introductions. Now, Cryptobolics, I know that you have some time commitments during this, so you're going to be a little bit in and out. So while you're here, I would love to give you a chance to go ahead and introduce yourself and a little bit about what you do in the crypto space. And if it's not a good time, I'll just come back.
Sorry, I tried to unmute my mic. I have a terrible service where I'm at right now. I'm about to walk out of the building I'm in, and then I'll be able to speak. I'm sorry.
No, no worries. All right, let's throw the mic over to Zach, since he was the first person that requested the mic. Zach, how you doing, man?
Doing great, man. Gearing up for ETH Toronto coming up next week. So looking forward to that. Haven't been out there, and just so much stuff going on, man. Just from a macro standpoint, with especially with Bitcoin and XRP, and obviously that trickles down to every project we're going to hear from today, man. So it's been busy. It's been busy, which is good.
Yeah, man. There seems to be like an insane amount of hype towards Bitcoin Toronto, more than last year. And I don't know if that's partially because some of the Shiba Inu stuff that's happening there or anything else, but it seems a little bit crazy. So we're on a good trajectory in the macro perspective. All right, Maurice. Wait, sorry. Could everyone please follow Zach? Click the fourth avatar over there. Throw a follow on Zach Humphreys, legend in the space. Happy to have you join, man. Thanks for joining. Let's throw the mic over to Maurice and let him introduce himself.
Yo, what's going on? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, you sound good.
Awesome. No, excited to be here. Again, these rooms are always terrific. A lot of the spaces I see are more so meme coin oriented, but I know, throughout the couple of months you guys have rolled this out, we've received terrific feedback. And it looks like, from speaking to A1, we got a terrific mix of projects today. Zach, I wish I could have been there. I got a wedding next week that's a week long, so I can't make it to the ETH conference, but I know I'm going to be, trying to follow along on Twitter. So excited to see what that's all about and excited to see the mix of projects we got today. I'll throw the bike back to you, Funk, and I'm excited for the rest of the discussion.
Yeah, thanks, Maurice. So that's Caesar's calls there. If everyone wants to go ahead and click Caesar Calls Crypto, is a second avatar down there. Throw him a follow. Conda Labs, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hey, what's up, Funk? What's up,
Yo,
panel, everybody? Caesar, Maurice, Gandalf. What's up, Zach Humphreys? Been hearing your name a lot in the space lately. I was wondering if you were here for Two Lands, but I don't think that's the case. But yeah, I'm excited to hear about all these projects. And yeah, the space is always awesome. We get to learn about some based utilities, some base projects, and just devs that really know what they're doing in the space,
Yeah, absolutely, man. I appreciate that. It's definitely exciting to hear about all the new things that are being built, and some of them have quite a bit of success. Some of them get adopted, and those are the ones that are obviously really exciting. And a lot of up and coming projects here that have a lot of great utilities that I'm excited to get into. If everyone could go ahead and click Conda Labs in the second row over there, it's that little Conda avatar there. It's the like a viper kind of bird thing. I don't know how to describe. I don't know how you describe, but go ahead and throw them a like. Crypto Bullocks, you're up, man.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Can you hear me all right? Just want to make sure.
Yeah, you sound great.
Perfect. I'm Cryptobolics. I've been in the space for quite some time now. New to Twitter-ish, like a year and a half to 2 years, but long before that, I've been involved in crypto and Bitcoin and stuff like that. Quick shout out to Zach, obviously. I've known Zach since like the dawn of time, and Jeff Oglesby. He's down in the viewers. I love those guys, Crybaby and all that. I just want to give him a quick shout out before I introduce myself and what I do. I'm a big educator in the space. I kind of took a step back as I opened up a project, but I will be in the near future getting back to helping people learn a bit more about crypto and understanding the psychology behind it, because it's very psychology based, and um, that's basically what I do. I own a project as well, but I'll get into that later. But the big thing for me is just trying to spread positivity. The unity in DeFi is something I've always been talking about. I actually started the hashtag unity in DeFi, and just joining together as a family, because the less toxic Twitter can be, the more positive and influential we can be to new people coming here and trying to invest.
Absolutely, man. I really appreciate that. Really well said. Everyone, please throw a follow on Cryptobolics. And yeah, man, I know that you are in an event right now, so I know you'll be a little bit spotty. So if I just call on you, you could just raise your hand when you want to speak on something, and that way I don't accidentally call on you when you're busy. So thanks for joining here. And man, I absolutely agree with the points that you made when it comes to basically all those things. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. All right, we got Gandalf. I had a point to make on what you said, but I forgot. And lastly, we got Gandalf Crypto here. So he's the top right avatar. He doesn't speak, but he joins all our spaces. He drives a massive amount of engagement and followers, and picks some great projects in this space. So everyone throw a follow on Gandalf Crypto and the rest of the speaker panel. Okay, with that being said, I do want to kind of announce the list of projects that I have in the order. And Cryptobolics, if you wanted to speak on any one in particular, I could move them around the order based on your schedules. I got Bitrock first, Havoc, PoFi, Devour, Bollocks, which is obviously you, and Genesis Bot. Do you have any preference on where you go in that lineup?
Not at the moment. I'm just trying to get to an area where I have better service.
Okay, great, man. Well, yep. in between projects, if you feel like you need to jump in and present Bollocks at some point, and it's a good time for you, just let me know. Okay, with that being said, I do want to just draw some attention to our Web3 Shards co-host account there. It's the third one over there. Web3 Shards is going live pretty much any day now. We're already delivering data to different projects. So what that is basically web3shards.io. You can go there and we are giving all sorts of data endpoints. We're giving tokens, pairs, block history, wallet addresses, NFTs, prices, live chart embeds that you can put on your website. Basically, any kind of data in crypto, our goal is to have it. Currently, we're on the Ethereum and Binance blockchains. So we have data from both of those, historic data, as well as live data through webhooks, WebSockets. And the best part is it's free. So if you go sign up right now, I think we have about like 8 slots left for the closed beta. So go to web3shards.io, just input your email and you'll get an API key and you're going to start saving on your crypto data right away. We really appreciate any devs who go do that. Just try it out and check it out because it means a lot to us for people to see that and just kind of see what the competition is out there, you know. So thanks for that. With that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the main event of the evening, which is the projects, the utility projects that have come here today to present and tell us a little bit about what they're building in space and how they're going to push DeFi forward. I have Bitrock as the first project in the list here. Let me see who's going to be speaking for Bitrock. All right, I got 2 mic requests. Looking for Bitrock. I'm gonna get an iPhone soon so that I see all the mic requests.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, I'm not gonna get rid of my Android. I'm just gonna get an old, out-of-date iPhone just for these spaces. All right, if Bitrock, if I'm not getting requests from them, please DM the main account with your username, your @ on X, and then I will manually add you. In the meantime, I'd love to have Havoc up here. So if the lead speaker from Havoc could come to the mic. Looking for Havoc. Let me go ahead and check my DMs. Okay. We're just gonna keep going down the line. We got PoFi and Devour. I see Devour at least as one of the handles on here. But other than that, seems like everyone can hear me, right?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good.
we got you.
All right, we're just having more Twitter issues where I'm not seeing the handles. So if everyone could please DM our account that's going to be speaking for any of these projects with the handle so I could do the workaround and pull you up to the mic stand. In the meantime, I am going to pull up Devour. I'm going to throw them a mic request while we're trying to get that all working out with the hopes that they can go ahead and present what they're doing. They're return guests. So I threw a mic request to Devour. Also, if the Web3 Shards co-host account is listening, I know that you have an iPhone, so oh, there we go. Hey, well, actually, you do because we have Bitrock did finally get the mic.
Okay, you need me to step down. That's so cool.
No, you could stay up here. You could stay up here, but would you rather go now or would you rather wait?
No, well, let's do it. Let's start off with a bang here.
All right, absolutely, man. So you know the format. You've been on here before. So if you want to tell all the new listeners who may not have heard of Devour what your ecosystem is from a top down, what you're building, and then I can maybe ask some updates.
Yeah, absolutely. And there has been some. So My name's Chad. I'm one of the co-founders of Devour. Come from the restaurant tech biz, and my co-founder Shelly. We've been in that industry for 45 years. We're crypto enthusiasts. We're big believers in Web3 and the utility of the technology, and so we set out to bridge the Web3 world with the restaurant industry. Now, where that's led us strongly is into the world of gaming. Not to mention, what we do in the Web3 world with Web3 communities and the metaverse. But when we think about our big opportunity, it's to really gamify food ordering, leveraging blockchain technology for the 212 million US gamers, and then we will expand internationally from there. It's really about that generational shift, right? The other food ordering platforms like DoorDash, Uber Eats, et cetera, kind of they're appealing to the least common denominator, like everybody. But the next generation, a lot of you on this call included, like tick differently. And when I talk about, hey, when you order food, you should get a really cool experience as you're doing that. You should be able to do that from your favorite game. You should be able to do that, have an elevated experience and benefit by being in a digital community, like most of us are. That's what we do. And so that platform is Devour Go. It's in iOS and Android app stores now. We are in the middle of rapidly scaling our restaurant locations across the country. Have a mega integration that's letting us, by the end of the year, have roughly 100,000 restaurants on the platform, coast to coast. Still plenty of places we don't have coverage today, but that will quickly change. We're live in 17 major markets today. So that's us in a nutshell. I'll be happy to take questions.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So what restaurants are you currently working with? I'm just curious, and what new ones have you been adding to the kind of the services?
So I don't know which restaurants we shared by name. I mean, I should actually mention that philosophically what we believe is it doesn't matter what happens with technology, the McDonald's, Burger King, Taco Bells of the world are always going to be doing it, right? They're going to be doing whatever they can do with emerging technology. It's the independent restaurants that need the help, and needed a company to make sure that they were participating in the next wave of technology. And so most of the restaurants we have on our platform, I'd estimate between 350 and 400 today, are independent restaurants. We have awesome partnerships with larger brands like Wow Bao is the biggest at 700. Their locations are coming on as quickly as they can onboard with us. We've got Gregory's Coffee, one of our favorite brands in the New York City market because they're very Web3 forward. Got an awesome pizza chain in Texas and in the Midwest called Mr. Jim's Pizza. And then as we continue to grow and add more integrations, other brands are in line to get on board, including Dave's Hot Chicken. There's a recent one that I'm sure some of your listeners will know. But the integration we have nearing completion is probably 2 weeks out will allow us to go gangbusters on adding every restaurant that we want to add with just their go ahead that we can flip a switch.
Yeah, is that like an automated process? Or do they have to like put an application? Like how does that onboarding work?
We'll blanket the whole country with the emails with like, here, click this button to instantly be on the platform. It will be automated, but they do just have to opt in.
Awesome, man. Any other huge updates? I also would open it up to the panel to ask about Devour for those of you guys who know about it or have some opinions on it. But why don't I ask any other updates, and then we'll open it up to the panel.
There are some big updates I can speak to generally. We just signed and brought on an advisor to the company who's from head of marketing at one of the largest video games in the world, in video game companies. That'll be a really exciting announcement when we share her name and talk about what that's going to signify. And then another major one is that we're progressing a phenomenal partnership with a mega telecom company that has hooks into food and beverage and esports. And so very excited to announce what that's going to signify for our company and community.
Nice, man. Those are some pretty incredible things that you guys got going on. I assume that you just have like a lot. I think we talked about it last time, but you have a pretty good business history, right? Like this isn't your first rodeo.
Right, right. We've been in, professionals in the restaurant tech scene for our whole careers. Shelly, my co-founder, even had prior entrepreneurial experience running a company with 10 million in annually recurring revenue of restaurant technology and technology provider. So yeah, this is not our first rodeo. We are business professionals that created a restaurant technology company that just happens to use the blockchain and how we deliver some of the unique user experiences.
Awesome, man. Well, I went ahead and pinned a recent tweet of your guys that actually links to the Telegram. I definitely feel like everyone should join. CryptoBox, go ahead.
Well, one of the questions is like, what makes it different? I know we're using blockchain, right?
Yep.
And I like it. Like, that sounds badass. But what is like a feature, like one feature that stands out to you that's much different than any other ordering platform?
There's more than one I could go on here. I'll start on the kind of within the app itself, right? So when you're looking at restaurants near you, you would see exclusive experiences, promotions, and even secret menu items available to you based on the digital assets in your connected wallets. And I should add that we have a native Go Devour Go wallet for every user, even if they're non-Web3 native, they can participate in this. But those NFTs, those will unlock, and soon we're going to add token support to this. Those will unlock those experiences at our restaurant partners that are recognizing your community. So favorite example would be, like with Gregory's Coffee, right? Right now you go in there and it's like, oh, if you're a member of the VFriends community, they have a promotion, secret menu items running for you as a member of that community. And that's one. Another favorite one, and this will be continuing to evolve. We have a partnership with a gaming metaverse called Alterverse, and in that game, you can go when our storefront is built. They're going to publish it to their game here in about 2-3 weeks, and you can go in there and click on a digital kiosk inside the Devour Go store and pop up a window and order food from within the game. Where we're going to take that from there is that will, and then across multiple games, is you order in game and that powers up your player with a benefit in game that you care about in that gaming environment. So quick answer to your question, and I'll stop for now.
No, that's super cool. Anybody that
Thank you.
games, I can't even believe you thought that's really cool.
Yeah, I overall I gotta say, I do love this utility. It partially because I just haven't heard of it. Like I like when someone like takes a risk and starts something. They don't just build like a traditional DeFi utility and to placate to the user. Like you guys really had to have a lot of knowledge in the industry, as well as a lot of ambition and innovation to come up with. So I really like Devour, as well as the branding. Maurice, you had your hand up next.
Yeah, no, again, I remember you jumping in from the first utility showcase we did, and I commented on the name in that industry and how I was really a big fan of the branding and the name selection that you guys went with. And it's nice to see that you guys, again, a couple months later are really pushing and are nearing that, that integration with some of these restaurants, which again will really bring and put more incentive for your users to jump in, and then it's going to help grow numbers. So yeah, no, it's definitely an exciting time, and it's again, appreciate you jumping back on and love hearing about some of the updates you had for everyone.
Absolutely, it's an absolute pleasure to share. Thanks for your pinning our tweet there with the Telegram link, because that's for anybody listening. It's like, I got to know more about this. That's where I would start. Join our Telegram, our community. That's where we're definitely dropping, the biggest alpha and where we do it soonest, and you'll get a sense of the vibe and everything else we have going on. But food and Web3 gaming, that's what this is about. So if you're interested in seeing what the future of that looks like, come check it out.
Awesome, man. I got Zach with his hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, guys, I can directly speak to what Chad and Shelly have built so far. I've been working with them when they first started, so I wanted to bring them back on, and I know they've got some things that Chad can't speak on yet. But Chad, I wanted you to kind of drop some info on the, if you could, like the Google for Startups Web3 program. So Devour recently got accepted into that, and kind of what that means. If you could jump in on that, I think that's some big stuff.
Yeah, it very much mirrors like this group and recognizing the importance of utility. Google has a Web3 startup program where they're looking for innovators in the space that are just doing something different, doing something that's going to have massive mainstream potential. And they decided to support us. They've already provided us with around $300,000 in credits with their technology. You know, we're in one of their groups that is connecting us to all of their other Web3 partners, and that's maybe the most valuable thing, honestly. But access to grants and resources across the board is what that means. Going as VIP partners to various events that they will be at as well. It's just a mega amount of support, right, from a mega company, and couldn't be happier. Because it's just that much more wind at our back, along with a lot of the new partnerships that we've formed. And as Zach mentioned, can't share all of the details on all of those yet, but really look forward to doing that in the near future.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I like what you guys are doing, like I said, and just bullish stuff. So thanks for coming on here, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. Make sure to download these guys' app. Make sure to join their Telegram. Maybe the future of food ordering, you know?
Yeah.
So
thank you. And as you do that, think about it through the lens of the Web 2 user, right? One thing we're very proud of is how frictionless it is. So if you can take off your Web3 hat as you're using, say, hey, could my grandma do this? Hopefully you'll find the answer is yes.
Fantastic, man. All right, we'll see you next time. Everyone can follow them through that tweet that I pinned, so throw a like on that. And throw a like and retweet on this space as well if you haven't already, if you see that first pin. So, all right, thank you, Devour.
Thank you.
Next up, we got, let's see, we got Bitrock. I'm going to make sure to follow Bitrock back. Everyone, please click Bitrock, throw them a follow. I'll search for a tweet to pin from them. And if you didn't already hear Bitrock, the format is you have about 3 to 5 minutes to kind of explain your ecosystem, explain what you're building, and then we'll have a conversation about it.
Sounds good. Hey guys, hope everyone's doing well. Just doing a quick mic check here. Can everyone hear me fine?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, awesome. All right. So hey guys, my name's Procrastinator. I just want to, since I have 3 to 5 minutes, and I've been here since the start, but obviously there were some issues with Twitter, but anyway, or X, I guess now. So a few things I want to focus on in those 5 minutes that we have. Just very quickly, I've personally been in the crypto scene for about 7 years. I work with the Bitrock team in the capacity of AMA hosting or being a speaker in the AMAs, community management, some PR advisory or advising and strategy as well. In short, Bitrock is a new layer 2 Ethereum sidechain or blockchain. And we do things a little bit differently than most, or maybe, the majority of all the other different existing L2s on the market. And I want to focus a little bit more on that because at the end of the day, even though the L2 scene is not too saturated just yet, talking specifically on ETH, we do have some major differences between a lot of the big players versus how we do things. So first of all, we are a proof of authority consensus blockchain versus proof of stake or proof of work. And what that enables us to achieve in terms of blockchain infrastructure is very high speeds, block times, as well as extremely low gas fees. That's number one. Our block times are 2 seconds, and the gas fees are pretty much near zero. So that's 0.401, somewhere around that dollars per transaction. We have stealth launched 3 weeks ago. So no pre-sales, no private sales, no seed rounds, no VC funding, none of that stuff. We launched with a live testnet. So the project work actually started two months before the actual launch. And there was a lot of testing done on the blockchain before launching. So we launched with an MVP at least, versus what a lot of whether L1 or L2 stealth launch or kind of your average projects kind of start building stuff out after launch. And we launched our mainnet on day 3. And we launched our swap in the second week. Things have been going quite fast for us. Some of the other differences include the fact that our entire supply is already circulating. There's no, real potential for dilution here. Again, as opposed to having a lot of the different unlocking phases and stuff like that with more major players. The idea behind the stealth launch was essentially to also allow the average investors to have a much better entry point for a promising L2 project versus, again, a lot of the different ones that tend to launch at millions of market caps and kind of not really appeal too much in terms of potential ROI to your average investor of, say, I don't know, $50, $100, $200, $300, $500 or so on. And also fosters community engagement because obviously we have our socials and we're growing. So right now we're almost at 5,000 holders in 3 weeks, which is pretty good. 40% of our entire supply is staked, which is also great. And again, in terms of the blockchain itself, it is not a fork. It's been built from scratch. So that's great. It's IBFT 2.0. And as I said, proof of authority consensus. And in terms of the integrations or development and so on, as I mentioned, we have our swap that was live in week 2. It's called Rock Swap. And part of our uniqueness is our commitment to kind of adding more unique utilities to our ecosystem. So that swap that's already live, we're finalizing a multi-chain layer on top of that. So it's going to act as a multi-chain DEX, where essentially you'd be able to buy different coins on their different native chains without having to go through swaps native to those chains or hold the gas token for that chain or pay gas in that chain. Essentially, everything would be equalized into Bitrock, and you'd pay gas in Bitrock, and you'd get that destination token. And that's being finalized. The ETA on that is about 2 to 3 weeks. Essentially, we're launched on 2 exchanges already, Bitmart and BitGet. We're kind of scaling up to kind of target more tier 1 and 2s. And part of the uniqueness of the project is the team's ability to really work very fast. So we've integrated with DexView, Dex screeners in progress. We're integrated with Gecko Terminal. We're integrated with Gecko Terminal, DexView, Pink Sale, with Sphinx. So we had a partnership with Sphinx where they integrated us into their ecosystem, and that's already done and live. So the bridge is done. Their swap, we're integrated into their swap as well. Bitmart is finalizing our integration with the mainnet. So essentially, you could buy Bitrock on Bitmart and then send it directly to your wallet. Obviously, any wallet that you can set up a custom chain on is supported at the moment, and we're already we have ongoing discussions and developments with different wallets for proper integration. And we have a KYC done with Assured DeFi. Assured DeFi is a leader in the KYC scene, so they work with the U.S. Attorney's Office and the FBI as well. We're being audited at the moment with CTD SEC, and we're finalizing some little security updates to make the most out of our audit score. And also having a stealth launch or kind of being a growing kind of L2 in its infancy allows us to have a little bit more control in terms of the projects that initially launch on the chain. So it's not a bunch of entire, scammy, ruggy type of stuff going on. Obviously, it's a blockchain, so and since it's live, people can and have launched on it already. We've had projects get to millions of market caps. We've had about $120,000 worth of Bitrock bridged already. But what that allows us to do is partner with existing solid projects and bring them onto our chain with incentives, as well as having tight control on partnered projects for launching through vetting by the Bitrock team. And we've had about 5 or 6 finalized so far, and we're looking at a timeline of a couple of weeks where we're just waiting on a few more integrations, the audit results, and then the launch is going to happen. So pretty exciting couple of weeks for us. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the feeling just from your presentation that you could keep going for another like 30 minutes, just because of how much you guys have going on. It sounds like it sounds pretty like a crazy time for you, a really special time for you guys.
Yeah.
And
You got us at a good time, yeah.
so I just want to ask what has been the hardest thing about building a layer two, and did you kind of take notes from some of the other layer twos, like from a coding perspective, or I assume that maybe you probably aren't the coder, but I'm kind of curious what your process was for going about building this thing.
Yeah, so essentially, a couple of challenges that faced us were, first of all, the fact that there aren't too many proof of authority layer twos currently out there, for ETH especially. There may be a couple again, but so there's kind of, we didn't really take inspiration too much. We do have developers on the team. So there's a team of 5 right now, and we have developers in-house, the blockchain itself, as well as the utilities and the ecosystem. And one of the challenges essentially was to actually finish a working proof of authority blockchain before we even launched, especially being a proof of authority. Another challenge was the funding part, because again, building an L2 is not cheap, takes a lot of time and money. So the team funded the entire development of the blockchain before the project even launched out of pocket. But most other teams wouldn't be able to do that. So thankfully, that's kind of done and out of the way right now. And again, even after the project launches, you run into, we have a 4/4 tax. So that goes to liquidity and marketing and exchanges and development as well. So, and marketing, of course. So the challenge is to kind of make sure we're using the funds wisely, and considering the fact that a lot of the L2 chains launch already at kind of multi-million-dollar market caps with so many backings and partnerships existing as is, makes it a little bit tricky for us to navigate something this early on in its infancy, but we've managed to do well so far. We've went from 3K to about 30 million market cap, which is pretty good. So yeah, I mean, these are just a few of the challenges that kind of came up. So.
Awesome, man. I do want to be respectful to the listener panel or the keynote speakers, as well as the other projects in terms of time. So I'll open it up to the keynotes if they have anything potentially short. Any comments or questions for you guys?
For sure.
I just wanted to ask about any like ongoing bounty or incentive programs you guys have running for people to like interact with the chain itself and maybe add improvements or feedback. I mean, community suggestions are definitely the most, welcome at this stage of a project.
Yeah, so we did have a little bit of that during the testnet phase at the start of the project before we launched the mainnet. At the same time, in terms of the mainnet itself, we have this period where the audits are being done, which we kind of want to, try to get as many of the audits out the way, because we have multiple ones. And I don't mean with multiple companies, because we're auditing the DEX and the blockchain and the contract and so on. So we want to kind of make sure everything's covered in terms of any updates that we need to do on the mainnet before we kind of, start kind of a bounty program or stuff like that. Again, people have been using the blockchain already and the feedback's been great. But until we kind of finalize those things, that's when, the kind of bounty stuff, after we do our own due diligence, will kind of come into play right before we launch the official projects and stuff like that, yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you guys for coming on here. Man, I did pin a tweet from Bitrock. So everyone please click Bitrock. Layer 2 EVM, huge undertaking, and it sounds like these guys are killing it. Nice looking chart, in my opinion. I like the look of that as a personally, but again, I'm not giving anyone financial advice or anything like that. So if everyone could please follow Bitrock, get connected to what these guys are doing. I'm sure that they're also open to utilities connecting with them to integrate the Bitrock blockchain and as well as other things like that. So fantastic having you on here, man. Great speaker. I'd love to have you on for a full AMA, to be honest, like a full 30 minutes, because there's just so much that you guys are doing. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for the question. Just a quick note. Yeah, this is probably our 13th kind of AMA / Twitter space / whatever. So we've been doing those, and this is the first one of this format. So I just wanted to apologize if I'm just kind of, it came across as fact dropping. That wasn't my intention. I'm just
No, man. You're all good, dude. It was fantastic. I love it, man. Either way, it's the full time's going to get taken by the speaker, and you guys sound like you're killing it over there, and I'd love to be a part of that ecosystem as well. So congratulations on all the success.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that.
Yep, absolutely. All right. Next up, we have. Let's see who we got. We have Havoc, as well as Police Finance, PoFi. So I don't know how to get Havoc up here because I still don't see them. So I am going to pull PoFi, and then if Havoc could just go ahead and DM me their then I'll pull that up to the speaker panel manually while PoFi presents. All right, Police Finance. Not the first time we've had you on here, but I think it's been like a little while since I've talked to you, at least a month or so. So if you want to let everyone here know, assume everyone's new listeners, what is your ecosystem, and what would you like to present here today in the 3 to 5 minutes?
Okay, yeah, so a little introduction in general. So like the whole base of our ecosystem is 100% revenue share to our holders. I think that's what true DeFi is. I think it's a good thing. Since we launched, a lot of big names, I'm not going to name any, are moving towards a 100% revenue share towards their holders. So I think it's kind of catching on. I think people know that's the way the space is going, is giving back to the people. But like a little breakdown on the suite of our products. Our lending protocol just launched on mainnet. We're working out a couple bugs right now, and that is you can make a pool for any project, any project. Say a project just launched a week ago, it's sitting at like a 500K market cap. You can make a pool for that project. Anyone can make a pool. You don't have to be like a project owner. So say there's a project you really like. Let me just give an example. Say like Ator, really good privacy project. Really love what those guys are doing. Say you hold a lot of that. You want to make a pool for that and allow other investors to come and lend and borrow from a pool you created. You can do that. So competitors in that sense are Aave, CRV, Compound. But the thing is, they cater to like 18 to 20 projects, and that's it. To whereas we cater to any project. So any project or person, individual, can make a pool if they want. So we're not held back in that regard. We're going to have a fully decentralized perpetual DEX. So perpetual DEX, it's pretty much leverage trading. Same thing there. 100% of revenue is going back to our holders on liquidations, maker, taker fees, all of that. We're going to have a DEX aggregator similar to 1inch. You will be able to place limit orders. All of that, as I said, on the fees from swaps, 100% back to our holders. None of it goes to any of the devs' pockets. It's all right back to the holders. And then we're going to have a non-swap as well. Same thing. The fees from the transactions, 100% right back to the holders. So that's like a quick rundown on everything. Like we have 4 things in our ecosystem. Not everything's live yet, but yeah, I'm open for questions.
Yeah, maybe you could just break down what's live currently and then what's coming soon.
Okay, so the lending protocol is live right now. And so how it's set up, our contracts also, I'm going to say this right now, they are immutable. They cannot be changed. They're launched. And once you deploy a pool and you set the parameters of that pool, it cannot be changed. So there are no vulnerabilities at all. So like Aave, CRV, Compound, there are vulnerabilities in their contracts. They've been hacked before. You don't have to worry about that with us. And we also cater to, like I said, anyone. We're not just catering to the like multi-billion-dollar projects. But like I said, we just launched that today. I'm working out a few bugs currently, but I do have a preview that I just posted on the Twitter. And then how the revenue works on that is 10% of all accrued interest from all pools goes to a contract and is converted into ETH, and then it is distributed out to the holders.
Fantastic, man. Yeah, love to see your guys' progress and kind of all the updates and all the different ambitious elements that you've taken on, plus the decentralized nature of it, and the whole giving back 100% to the holders, I think is really sets you guys apart in a lot of ways from maybe traditional businesses like ours, which operate on a for-profit model for the company, and then has a different relationship with our holders. But let me open it up to the keynote speakers for any comments on what you guys are doing. And if I don't get any,
I could jump in.
sure, go ahead.
Yeah, so I caught on to them very early. It was shared to me through a buddy of mine that was in a whale group that heard about it. And aside from all he's doing for DeFi, it just really shows in the community that there's just a bunch of smart investors in there. And I don't know if he mentioned this, but the rewards are going to go back to you in ETH. So there's going to be absolutely no sell pressure on the chart. And I really feel once people start seeing their rewards coming back into their wallet, they're going to double down and just keep dumping more into their ProFi bags to get some more rewards. So I really see this going places. This is an awesome project.
Yeah, man, I can definitely attest to that. One of the things that seems to be the catchiest is when people do have some kind of ETH or BNB or any kind of other rewards just kind of flowing into their wallet. It does make them excited. It makes them share those screenshots. It makes them want to double down their bags and things of that nature. So anything to speak on about that, PoFi?
Yeah, I just like that's the whole reason crypto is here, man. I mean, decentralized. We should not run our projects like corporations and banks that we're trying to get away from. We as project founders should not be the ones taking the majority of the money for ourselves. Like most of these perp exchanges, they take 80+% of the revenue for themselves. You know what I mean? And they make billions a year. So I just think we really need to get away from that. And I think the space is leaning towards that. Like I said, a lot of bigger name projects now are moving towards 100% revenue share model after we launched and word got around, and I'm happy. I'm glad to be here to kind of like put that word in other project founders' ears. And, I think people are catching on, man. And I'm excited.
Cool. Any other comments from keynote speakers or just in general, are there any updates that you wanted to share since maybe we last talked, or things that have been going really well for you?
So yeah, I just think like our community very strong. I wouldn't be in general, like the project wouldn't be where it is today without the community. We have very strong community, very intelligent community, a community who actually goes out and does research. Like for our lending protocol, I did a little thread competition, and man, there was probably 20 to 30 threads, man. People doing research, and I just love to see that, man. I love to see investors going out, digging, doing their own research, and then figuring out why a project has its place in the space. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like I said, the biggest thing is the protocol is live. It's down currently just because we're working out those bugs, but it'll be live soon. It's the first tweet right now. So yeah, I'm just excited, man. I'm ready to get the ball rolling, ready to get some partnerships going. Yeah, just excited, man. Seeing my vision come to fruition, man. I don't really know what else to say other than I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and share that tweet that says lending protocol is live. And you guys are just obviously cleaning up a few bugs, but it's got the link on that tweet to the main website to get connected and kind of do a little bit more research into all the utilities these guys are building. It's a really robust ecosystem, really cool branding and aesthetic as well. So just thanks for coming up here, man. And I wish you guys all the best in the upcoming months.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me, and good luck to all the other projects on here too. The ones I heard, shout out. And if any other projects, if you guys want to reach out, you maybe want to use the lending borrowing protocol because you don't have that option, reach out to me. I can help you make a sustainable pool for your investors, and yeah, maybe we can work something out.
Fantastic, man. Thanks for coming on. All right. So again, click to follow Polarize Finance and also click that tweet that they posted and get connected to their website and see what they're doing from that, listeners. All right. Thank you very much. Oops, I didn't mean to invite you to co-host. We've already got too many co-hosts. Don't accept that. All right. With that being said, looks like finally Captain Crypto made it. So I'm going to throw him the mic. I'll also try to get these other speakers back up here. Invite to speak. Okay, great. We have Bullocks. If he's ready to present.
I am ready. Sorry about that. It's been crazy. But I'd like to introduce myself again. I'm Cryptobolics. I will take only 3 to 5 minutes. Can you hear my mic?
Yeah, you sound great.
Perfect.
Go ahead.
All right. I got into the cryptocurrency world in Twitter a couple years ago, probably like a year and a half. And the biggest thing I realized lacked inside of crypto was just common knowledge and also the hype and emotion that comes along with it, like the psychology, but also reading charts, understanding DEX tools, and all those different things. So we created Bollocks Corp and Bollocks Token so that we would establish business inside of the real world and bring those funds back to cryptocurrency. Now, what we did was we started a few Web3 companies. We partnered with the BlockChain Academy to create our own university. And then we moved on to a media company to create our own sense of unbiased media. A lot of the things out there are meant to manipulate you to either buy, sell, or whatever they want in the markets. And what we wanted to do was to create something that wouldn't manipulate you into buying or selling. It would just give you the facts and you would use those to your advantage. So we have those two organizations right now inside of our cryptocurrency project, which aren't as lucrative as we'd like them to be, but that's because there's not that many people in Web3 currently trying to attain knowledge and trying to attain real media. Um, that's okay though, because the way we're developing our infrastructure, we're developing it through SEO, which brings you different roads and traffic to your website or to our website, which will allow us to be able to bring more holders in as time comes, um, and and then sorry about that. Somebody was just trying to talk to me through. I have another phone here, so um, I was on another meeting. But yeah, so we want to attain new traffic through search engine optimization, through specific keywords that we want to register for. So we partnered with a very large, which we won't disclose the name because we don't want to have the undercut inside of it. We want to have the best possible, a very large SEO organization that I've used previously in other companies that make your project or make your company successful because it drives organic traffic, people that are really trying to search for you to your website. So with that being said, once we establish those roads, and those takes time to build, SEO takes many months, years even to build. Once we do establish those, we'll be able to monetize not only our website, our media, and our social medias. We'll be able to utilize and self market to them as well for our own benefit. So not only will we be able to monetize, but we'll be able to self market as well. That is a quick rundown. There's a lot of other things in our ecosystem. We're still building more companies. We're still building right now. Our chart may not look beautiful, but a lot of charts are having a difficult time if they've been around for a while, and that's just because of the market and due to that. But we are working towards building a larger following, a larger holder count, and also buyback and burns through the business revenue as it begins to be established in the near future.
Nice, man. I'm just kind of curious, what has been the experience like being on the other side where you actually are a project manager, project owner, you have investors, you have a chart, you have a cryptocurrency. What's that experience been like, and has it been more challenging than you thought or less?
It's horrible. It is. I don't recommend it to anyone ever at any point in time because you lose all of your friends. And this is the truth. I had multiple projects that I've thrown 50, 60 ETH into projects long before I even owned a project. And then I started mine and they all disappeared. The Unity and DeFi I spoke of began to dwindle and go away because um, everybody teaches in this world that sell one bag for another, like, oh, hype on this and buy this, and that's the issue. So when I did start the project, some of those other people that were in those projects maybe have sold and came to mine. And what I've been trying to educate is you don't do that. You keep your portfolio diverse. You don't have to jump on every pump wagon or train. Things are building, we're building. So, man, I get attacked 24/7. People make shit up all the time and they act like they've got proof. It's just like this. And some people believe them. I'm like, this is crazy. But you should see the ridiculous. I mean, go on the internet right now and you'll see the ridiculous things people are saying. And it just, people hate you when you do something, and they'll find a way to attack you. They'll find a way to make you look bad. And it's rough. I 100% love what I do, and I love the people in my cryptocurrency organization. But influencing was the easiest thing I ever did in my entire life for all the companies I've ever built, and it was the best thing I had ever done because it was super lucrative, super fast, and anybody that has been in influencing before can agree with me there. And there was no stress. It didn't matter. Some people would say stuff about you, but it'd not be a big deal because communities loved you. But when you create your own token and you create your own community, there begins to be a click mentality, and it's one click against another, one project against another, and it's super toxic. And that's why I always stay out of it, and I just shut up and I just move on. I keep working, keep grinding, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, man, I think it's yeah, I mean, obviously being a project owner is insane. The amount of pressure people put on you, the expectations, I'm sure Maurice has mentioned several times that he's been tepid to ever launch a cryptocurrency of his own because, of all that comes with it. Because he sees the struggle, especially for long-term projects that try to do it right. Like I know that you are and your name in the space. And so you're trying to do everything the right way, and that makes it all the much harder. So props to you for doing that and taking those steps, though. But I think it's not just true in the cryptocurrency industry. I mean, try starting a band and not or another side project or a business or whatever, and now you're promoting those things, and all the competitors out there, all the
No,
people that they're going to be all of a sudden they're going to disappear. You're going to make a post to your Facebook about something you're starting, and it's going to be crickets, right? And so that's something that, and I think it's because we're in a very saturated social media and business market where there's everyone vying for that attention to get drawn to themselves. So, I think Bullocks is an amazing utility, and it sounds really good to me. I don't know if any of the other people want to speak on here, Zach or Maurice or Conda.
Yeah, no, I'll comment on what Bollocks just said about running a project, and you've probably heard me say it multiple times, at least 20, I would say, because I see the stress that goes in, and um, at the end of the day, if somebody buys in maybe a little bit higher up on that pump that you talked about without really understanding fully like what they're buying into, and then the project dips down, and you guys didn't go anywhere, you're still active, you're still trying to build, but they're looking at the balance of the value of the token, right? Not so much the activity and the building. So that's where for me it definitely education and pushing people to really do the research and understand what they're getting into beforehand, so that when you do decide to jump into a project, you kind of understand, maybe not fully what the value is of it, but you have a better understanding compared to somebody who's just blindly following the hype, because that type of holder as an owner, like, is really what you would want to have in your project. So yeah, no, I'll just comment and keep pushing, and hopefully the negativity doesn't get to you.
no, I really appreciate that. It's been crazy, and what you speak of is 100% true. And I have family invested in cousins and different things like that in my project. And I get messages, like text messages personal to me. And I have really good friends that are in the project as well. Like, I've made so many friends inside of our community. I mean, I think I'm pretty much friends and know a ton of stuff about all of our community members. But the biggest thing is I'll get messages like, hey, the floor price is down in the NFTs. Did you see that? Yeah. What people sell. I can't control them. I'm not gonna shut it down. And it's the same thing, like, hey, did you see that big sell? There's there's nothing we can do about it. And that's the hardest thing, because it's an emotional tax on me, because I don't want it to happen. I can't change it and it's out of my control, but it's hurting people I care about. And in the long run, I know where it's going. So I just explain, be patient. Just let me work, let the team work, and let's move forward. And that's the biggest thing. It's just time. It takes time to build anything in crypto, and it takes time to build anything in Web 2, Web 3, or a pineapple for that matter. You got to take time to grow it, right? It takes time, love, and nurture, and water, which is time. But yeah, you're 100% correct.
Have you ever seen Office Space when he gets the
Yeah.
six? He gets the 16 TPS reports. It's the same whenever there's a sell on the chart. You get
Yes.
16 people that are all DMing you and asking questions. But Zach, go ahead. Zach, go ahead, and then Conda.
Sorry if I missed it. I was on the other line. I don't know if it cut out or something. But no, to Bollock's point, man, it's definitely not easy. And man, I do not. I couldn't imagine running a project, man, because just being like in the influencer space, there's a lot of noise out there. A lot of people want to come at you, especially during these markets too, right? I mean, it's funny how the mood switches when everybody's making money and you can throw a dart at anything and you're a genius, right? And everybody loves you. And then, you know, when it kind of the tides turn, you kind of see people's true colors and things like that. I just think, you know, in general in this space, it's like find your people and stay close to those people. You know, sometimes trying to be trying to be friends with everybody sounds good in theory, but it's tough, man, because you know it's just you just don't know. And I mean, find a few good people. That's what I've done. You know, it's kind of worked for me, and just kind of stay in your lane and head down. And like Rogan says, don't look at the comments.
Hey, yeah, Conda, go ahead.
Yeah, Zach, for sure. Yeah, you know, as a marketer in this space, my first 10, 20 minutes of each consultation is talking them out of doing the token. It's like, are you sure you want to take this on? Are you sure you have the time for this? Are you sure you want to be glued to your computer 24/7 and have to, you know, wake up in the middle of the night to put out a fire or whatever? So yeah, I definitely don't envy you, Bullocks, but I'm happy for you that you're doing it, and I'm happy for you that you're sticking to it. And yeah, you know how it is on the other side too. So
Yeah, I
um,
do. I do.
yeah. So yeah, man, congrats, and you know, just stay grinding, and we'll be behind you.
Yeah, one thing I would love to turn this a little more positive and bullish about Bullocks is that if you find a crypto dev who's not in despair, then you didn't find a good crypto dev. So Bullocks, that speaks a lot to you know, you're not that you're in despair, but that there's like, you know, those hardships, but because like at the end of the day, that means you're doing things honest, that means you're doing good things the right way, and you're putting all your time and effort into it, and that's bullish for Bullocks. So I'm gonna make sure to get a tweet pinned up for Bullocks, bullockscorp.com. Connect with what these guys are doing. Amazing utility, amazing project. Any closing notes that you have about that you wanted to get across about Bullocks to the listeners here today? Looks like he cut out. Oh, he requested the mic. Here we go. Let's get him back up here. We have Crypto Bullocks. Who else do we have? Let's try to get Captain Crypto on here too.
I'm sorry. Closing notes. No, we went over pretty much everything. I just appreciate all the people here and the people that take their time to be a part of these spaces, and I appreciate you to have me on. I love doing this type of stuff, and I've talked to my community about getting back into it. And I just want to say thank you for having me on. Thank you to everybody listening here. And just remember that time is the most precious traded commodity there is in the world. There's nothing more valuable than time. And just make sure you're trading your time for something that's of value.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Trying to find I'll just go directly to the Crypto Bullocks Bullocks token. There we go. And I'll follow that. I don't know why I'm not following it, and I'm just going to go ahead and retweet this. No, I'm not going to retweet that one. I'm trying to find one that's kind of neutral here. BLX Games, Bullocks Media. Okay, I'll just do this one. This is neutral. It's a little news post, but I pinned that to the Jumbotron. So everyone go follow a Bullocks token, get connected to these guys, get into the Telegram, and check out the utility for the token, as well as the project and the media and the true knowledge and research unbiased that these guys are bringing to the table, because it's fantastic stuff. So thanks again for presenting, man.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right. We have about 2 projects left here today. I believe we've got Havoc. Still trying to get Havoc to the mic. I'm not seeing them in the speaker panel, but let me just go ahead. And we got Genesis Bot. I'm just going to throw Genesis Bot the mic just in case we can't get Bullocks on here quite yet. And I'm just going to go ahead and check my DMs to see if we have the ats from Havoc. Try to get Havoc up here on the mic. Okay, I got no DMs from Havoc. Oh, that's right. Oh, okay, I see that they were unable to make it. Havoc was, I believe. So with that being said, we got our last project of the day, Genesis Bot. You know the format by now. You got 3 to 5 minutes to kind of pitch what you're building in the space and how you're pushing DeFi forward.
Oh, hi. Can you all hear me?
Yep, you sound good.
All right, great, thanks. So my name is TM, and I've been into crypto a couple of years now, since 2017. And I've been working with the Genesis bot team in partnerships, call management, and of course, community management strategies and all. So I'm going to go straight to it. Genesis bot is a user-friendly Telegram bot that enables anyone at all to create, deploy, and manage their own tokens without the need for complex coding or any lengthy waiting period. So what sets us apart actually is our ability to both assist the token creator and of course people who will be buying the token that would have been created on Genesis bot. So tokens created through our bot would have certain rules enforced so that the buyers can be assured that instant rocks cannot happen. There will be no honeypots, pullable liquidity, or any other malicious lines of code that would put buyers of such tokens at risk. So we do have a vision and a reason for creating a Genesis bot, and that's because we want to create a safe and more inclusive on-chain, landscape for people, newbies, by democratizing the process of token generation, where anybody without the knowledge of code, without any lots of experience, should be able to create a token without necessarily having to go to the high learning curve of coding, everything from scratch. So while we're doing this, we are also ensuring that we protect users and buyers of such tokens such that they don't get exposed to the risks that we see these days from tokens that get deployed and then they get rocked often. The features of Genesis bot. This is very interesting because from Genesis bot, you're able to customize your token to whatever feature or parameter that you want. You can personalize the symbol of your token and, of course, the name. You could customize the supply to whatever you want, 1 million, 20 million, 30 million. And of course, you could set up your tax settings in the beginning, which cannot be more than 5% in the beginning. And you can go ahead to customize it or reduce it going forward to less than 5%, maybe 1%, 2%, or 3%. You can also integrate revenue share inside of the bot while you're creating your own token, such that you could configure a revenue share percentage from the tax of the liquidity pool for teams and, of course, holders of the token. While also creating Genesis bot, you can add liquidity, you can lock liquidity, you can bond liquidity, you can bond tokens, you can renounce the ownership of the token while creating. You could also configure situations where you have a maximum transaction and a maximum wallet when you're launching to be able to protect, the integrity of your chat when you're launching. Of course, you could increase your LP size. You could add LP tokens. And of course, there are various ways that you could also integrate anti-bot mechanisms when you're launching. So one of the few questions that we've been getting from community when we had our testnet version was that, is Genesis bot free? Yeah, of course, Genesis bot is very free. Anybody can use it. You could just go onto the bot and of course you fire it up and begin to create your own tokens using the set parameters that I mentioned earlier. And of course, you do not necessarily have to create a new wallet. If you do have an existing wallet, you can import it into the bot, which would of course have the amount of ETH that you need to pay the gas for deploying a token, and you go ahead and do so. So what we're trying to achieve with Genesis bot is like I mentioned, is simple. We are indeed trying to bring down the barrier or the curve for deploying a token out there for newbies or people who ordinarily would not be able to do so. You want to create a meme token, you could do so in Genesis bot. You have a project that you need help with via the Genesis bot team, some to create some kind of exposure, some kind of marketing and partnerships. We're also available to help you do that. So I think I'm going to stop here for now. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that it's definitely, the fact that you guys make it easier and easier for projects to launch is in some ways a double-edged sword. But I think what I love about what you guys have done is is you've kind of covered your bases to try to make it not create a lot of scams, you know, and maybe you could go into a little bit more detail about how that's prevented. I know that you mentioned it in your first little speech there, but how does you know your thing prevent people from pulling liquidity again?
Okay, yeah, so thanks. Inside of our contract, we try as much as possible to work with we're working with big partners on this, right? To be able to get rock proof certificates, such that if you are able to create a token inside of Genesis bot, then it means that your code would definitely not be rock possible. It means you definitely would not be able to rock that particular token in the first place. So working with big partners to achieve this is what is right at the front, at the fore of what we're trying to achieve. And of course, we're trying to iron out a lot of other attack vectors that makes it possible for any token to be able to rock. And while we're building and ensuring that this is becoming rock proof, we're taking a look at every possibility by working with third-party partners. Of course, I'm not going to list those third-party partners right now, but then I can say and I can assure that we would be issuing rock proof certificates to tokens that will be launching inside of Genesis board, and we can be so confident that they would not be able to rock going forward.
Yeah, man, fantastic work with that. And overall automating, I know I've interviewed you guys before, for quite a long time. So it really is an incredible technology that these guys have built. And their charts reflecting it. You know, they definitely have some action on there. They've got decent volume, decent shaped chart. So I'm going to go ahead and retweet this post here that says, I guess it's technically delayed now because it says last day for application. But if you want to apply with what these guys are doing and launch under them, definitely connect. Speaker panel, anyone have any comments on Genesis bot and what these guys have built?
I'll jump in. Just it's you know, we've seen a lot of hype recently around these utility projects. It is a extremely competitive space. So I guess what would be the best user advantage like with working from you know, with Genesis or using your technology versus some of these other projects that have scaled up or maybe reached higher market caps at this point?
Genesis, I can't hear you.
Oh, hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay, you're good now.
Okay, I think I somehow lost it a bit. So of course, there are other projects that are out there. It's an open market. There's a lot of market share to take out of the market, if I understand your question correctly. There's a lot of opportunity out there in the market. Lots of bots come up with different ideas, different utilities, different opportunities for users to be able to take advantage of. So yes, of course, what we're able to offer for people who would want to use Genesis bot is first things first. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, we're a rock free token deployer, and we would also serve as some kind of alpha launch pad for people who ordinarily will not have the right network and the right connections within the Web3 space to be able to deploy their own token. So we can, of course, introduce them to alpha teams. We can introduce them to projects within the Genesis network to be able to partner. We can as well provide LP marketing sponsorship. You know, we could also help in customizing contracts for them if they do not have the dev resources to do so. So it goes beyond the bot in itself, right? So the bot pretty much has a very standard way of deploying the contracts. However, if you want some kind of customization to be done inside of the bot, we have the dev resources to be able to help with that. And of course, we would be able to help these projects to access private whale networks to be able to help them to scale the development of their projects and, of course, the growth of their tokens going forward. So it's actually a very low barrier to entry for people who would want to deploy their own tokens, and we think that's actually a very interesting offering for individuals to take a look at Genesis bot.
Yeah, great stuff, man. I do want to ask, you guys have a really strong liquidity pool. Is that from a pre-sale that you guys ran, or did you start with a lot of funds for this? Because the true value to market cap is really, really good.
Yeah, so that's the interesting part, right? We didn't actually do a pre-sale. We did still launch, and it was just pretty fair. Everybody who had the opportunity to know that we were going to launch at the time we launched got in, and that was it, right? So it's actually funds from the team, and we did not actually do a pre-sale.
Yeah, well, I just like those metrics. I'm obviously a big fan of you know, a strong liquidity pool in terms of long-term value. It takes a lot of energy to move the chart up, but it's not a bubble, so I do like that. All right. With that being said, anything that you want to leave us off with here, Genesis Bot? I did hit a tweet from you guys about so if everyone wants to jump to the Jumbotron, follow Genesis Bot on Twitter, as well as all the other speakers and projects here today, but throw a follow. Any closing notes from you, Genesis?
Thanks. So I'm going to ask the community and everyone who's listening today to take a look out for Genesis Board. Of course, we are hoping to roll out a couple of projects that we are thoroughly vetting right now to be able to launch inside of the board. And we're going to be helping with a lot of marketing and providing liquidity for them. We are also working on shipping our revenue share. You could take a look at our documents or rather our website to see what our rev share is all about. It's pretty much interesting. Holders are actually going to be benefiting a whole lot from rev share from inside the board. And if you do know anyone who wants to launch a token but does not necessarily have the dev resources, you could point them across to us and you could earn 10%, right, of the entire trading volume of that particular token going forward based on the 0.3 tax that is being earned by Genesis board. So that's one of the most interesting aspects of the rev share for Genesis board. So thank you very much for having us here. We appreciate it, and of course, we would love to be here another time, and happy to chat.
Yeah, man, looking forward to updates from what you guys are doing here, and I definitely see what you're doing is pushing DeFi forward because, in my mind, it makes it reduces the barrier for entry for people that want to create really great DeFi business models or Web3 business models to start a cryptocurrency and start a project, with that and with an organization they can trust. So thanks again for coming on here and looking forward to seeing you again. Make sure everyone follows Genesis Bot at GenesisBot_TG and can get connected to them as well through their Telegram. All right, I do want to so thanks for that. I do want to draw attention here to Captain Crypto. He's in the third row down. He did join us a little bit late, but obviously he helped with the engagement. He helped retweet this space. So everyone, please go ahead to Captain Crypto and throw him a follow. He's in the third row down there. He's the kind of Superman character. So go ahead and click him, throw him a follow as well as Gandalf. All right, with that being said, we are done with all the projects. Havoc couldn't make it today, so that's fine. I had a really fun time on this space, but I'd love to open up to the keynotes and kind of hear their thoughts on how the space went, starting with Maurice.
Yeah, no, really, again, really enjoyable. Personally, for me, it's tough. I don't have the time to track the charts of like meme coins and stuff like that are a little bit faster moving. So, it's great to be able to learn about projects I haven't seen and ones that I got a little bit of familiarity with from before. But yeah, no, the mix of projects today was awesome, and it was cool to reconnect with Zach and Bollocks and Z, who I've known for a long time in this space as well. And shout out to Cap, who I've had on AMAs as a guest, as a speaker, multiple times in the past, and shout out to Gandalf over there as well. There's a project that's listening in. I'll give them a quick shout out to Collective Finance. I know they jumped in. It's a pretty cool project. I had the chance to AMA with them, and I joined their Discord as well. I think it's the only group I'm in. They got again, I'm going to bring them next week, I think. So if you want to check them out, they're listening in, go follow the avatar, but I'll see you next week.
Yeah, I see them down there. Nice shout out. Collective Finance would love to have you on here next Thursday as part of this weekly running space here. All right, let's throw the mic over to Crypto Bollocks if you're available to speak. We got some closing notes here.
I'd like to just say that I thought the space was incredible. A lot of really good projects here. I was happy to see that, some of my friends are here from last week, and Caesar calls, and and yourself, obviously, you're the host. But I had a really good time. I like meeting new people, so I hope you guys do. You should throw me a follow. I'll give you a follow back. I have my account set to private right now, but I will approve them as I go through for the rest of today. Um, just remember that your mindset speaks volumes on your trading portfolio. Don't let somebody's negative words affect you or impact how you make your day or how you trade, because that's how people win against you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And definitely one thing I took away is make sure to be nice to the project owners that are working hard and doing the right thing in this space, because it's they're trying their best here and they don't control the entire markets. And I think that every project owner will tell you something similar. So, they're people too, and they're working hard for your investment. They're trying to make you money, and the good ones are. So be nice to them back and help out those projects in any way you can by helping promote it. All right, Conda Labs, closing notes.
Yeah. No, just to reiterate what you said. Yeah, the devs are here, especially if it's a utility project and the dev is working on the utility, and you're in it for the chart. Don't give him a hard time. Like, he's doing his job. He's doing what he's promising to do. He's making, making strides, and just give him time, give the project time. You in the chat asking a million questions about the chart is not going to help the chart. So definitely, very impressed with all the projects that were here. I really want to look into this Genesis bot one. It's kind of confusing, but it seems like it might be a really useful tool and might really help, some people with some great ideas out there launch a good token. So yeah, thanks to all the co-hosts and to you for having me on again. And I appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next time.
Yep, thanks for joining Conda Labs. I'm going to ask one last time for everyone to follow Cryptobolics, Conda Labs, Maurice, Caesar's Calls, Gandalf Crypto, as well as Captain Crypto. Thanks to all the keynote speakers for coming on and making this a great space. I just want to thank all the projects for coming on here as well and making this a great space. Looking forward to seeing you guys continue to build and develop, and as is our current motto, pushing DeFi forward, pushing decentralized finance forward. I know that the markets can be kind of hard, especially for utility projects. So keep working, keep plugging away, and we'll all see the promised land. I know the halving is coming up soon. And, once those blue chips start mooning, we're going to see a lot of love back to the rest of us. And HODL, not financial advice. I did pin a tweet at the end here for developers to get signed up on Web3 Shards. Like I said, we've got tons of data that we're delivering now, and we're fully live in our beta, like basically any day now, but you can get data right away. We got live chart embeds for your website if you want our charts in your website, if you want token prices, if you want token statistics, if you want pairs, block history, you want wallet asset data, you want basically anything, any kind of crypto data that's on Etherscan or BSC scan, we have it, as well as plenty of other data providers too. And we have WebSockets for live up-to-date data, as well as webhooks. So if you want live data, historic data, or anything in between, go to web3shards.io and sign up absolutely free. Only a couple more developer slots for that. Shameless plug. Anyway, if you like what you heard here today, please also throw a follow on the CoinMerge main account in the top left. Again, thanks again, everyone, for coming, and we will see you next time. Signing off here from CoinMerge.io.
Smell what the rock is cooking.